Well, I was very pleased the way we came out and played against Dixie State. We knew going in it was going to be a physical football game. And you go back to a year ago, they had beat us in the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So we kind of challenged our guys in that respect. And if you look at it, we took away their run game and we ran the football exceptionally well. But I think our guys played well in every phase. It was also a game that kind of tested a little bit of our fortitude because we come out and we get behind 9-0, and our guys never quit. They didn't panic. They just kept believing in the things we were going to do, took care of business, and we walked off the field with a great victory.
And looking ahead to Adams State, high-powered offense looks like, what do you know about them?
Adams is going to score a lot of points in games and stuff, and I mean they're going to throw the ball all over the field. So I know it's going to be a great test for our defensive backs. It's going to be kind of a different thing for our defense because the last several games, going back 3 weeks ago against Pueblo, we knew they were a run-dominant team. Black Hills throws the ball a lot, but we also knew they were still a great RPO team, mixing the things around between the run and the pass game. Last week we knew that Dixie still wanted to try and run the football. You know what? Adams is going to line up. They're going to throw the football. They're going to throw the football 70-80% of the downs, and they'll mix in the run to help keep you honest on stuff. And so it's going to be a great challenge for our guys in the respect defensively, that it's going to be a different look. And then offensively, we want to continue to get even smoother and convert even a couple more of those situations. Last week we had a couple of drop passes. We had a couple of missed assignments on things. That's okay. We're going to get better on those things, and we want to just make sure we're getting better in every aspect. And one of the things as well we talked about this morning was even the situation of making sure that we win the special teams in the field position. I think it's going to be very difficult for Adams to be able to drive the football on our defense if we give them 70, 80, 90-yard fields, versus giving them a short field. Even last week when Dixie got, I think, one of their scores, two of their scores, they had short fields. We don't want to give people short fields. We want to make them have to drive the ball, and if we can do that, I think we're going to have a great day come Saturday. Well, it was interesting because last Saturday was the first time that I've actually allowed our players to watch one of the other conference games while we were getting ready, to play our game. And we had not left the hotel yet, and I just told the coach, I said, hey, we're going to wait and we're going to let them finish this here. And it was for several reasons because, number one, obviously with Fort Lewis beating Pueblo, it opens the door again for us to be now having in our control the opportunity to win or tie for a conference championship. And so I wanted our players to know and understand that. But then we kind of coupled that with a couple of those upsets that we'd watched on TV the night before. Clemson getting beat by Syracuse, and then watching Washington State just kind of get demolished by Cal. And I wanted them to understand that, number one, you got to show up every single week. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what. Shoot, you look in the NFL, I don't think the Broncos showed up a whole lot come Sunday night. But it's a standpoint that every single opponent we play is capable of beating us if we don't bring our A game. So I wanted them to know and understand that we got to be the best we can be every single time. But along with that, I wanted them, we spend a lot of time in our program talking about control the controllables. And now it is back within our control to win a conference championship. We have the ability to go 10-1 and to be in the playoffs. And so that is all within our control, so we have to take care of our business. And I wanted them to understand the challenge, the opportunity, but also the responsibility that goes with it, because it's a heavy weight on your shoulders when you understand that. But our guys have risen to that occasion over and over again over the years, and I know they're going to continue to do that right now. And so I think that it was a great teaching moment, and we know that there's a lot of football left. But trust me, there was a lot of excitement in that room when Fort Lewis beat them. From here on out, we'll be cheering for Pueblo. The more they win, the better it helps us in playoff situations. But, we just got to take care of our business, and we're the only team that we do control.
And then, Coach, going into that Dixie State game, was it emphasizing on the run? Huge game on the ground, 480-plus yards. Was that the idea going into the ballgame, or was it the pass not there, so you want to close out of that?
What we want to be able to do is we want to be able to move the football efficiently in each phase. And that particular night, we were running the ball really well, especially on the perimeter. And we've got an outstanding running back in David Tan. And I think, he had fewer carries the last couple of weeks. We'd really lightened his workload in practice. And I think it showed. He had fresh legs. He was playing much faster. He was playing more physical. And then Easton is obviously a dynamic runner. And with some of the things they were doing defensively, it was opening the door up more for that. And so if that's the case, then that's exactly what we want to do. Doesn't mean we're not going to throw the football. We're going to throw the football. We had a couple chances where we were over the top, and we just didn't quite connect. We had a couple drop balls, and that can make things even more efficient. So every single week, whether we throw the ball really well, run the ball really well, we want to get better in every aspect. Same thing defensively. We know this week with Adams, one of the things we have to do this week is we got to be able to tackle in the open field. They're going to get the ball to good receivers and skilled players. When they get it, we just got to be able to tackle and basically make sure that they're not getting the extra big play out of what should be a minimal or intermediate type yardage play.
Stephen, obviously the safeties are going to get tested this week. And Dustin goes down. Teams are naturally going to say, okay, well, let's test this guy out. I mean, you've been here for a few years. You've been beaten up, been in, been out. What all have you learned about that position and what you have to do?
Actually, I'm probably the first or the only safety now that's been here since Coach Patton and the one that brought our defense over. So just with Dustin going down, it's a big loss. But with me getting hurt and last year and just learning more of the game from the head point, from just the playing point, it's going to be a good test. They do like to throw the ball a lot too, as well. And then we have Nick as well. He's been doing great as a freshman, true freshman. He's actually doing really well. And you know, us as DBs just have realized that we all have to play the best, especially when an All-American goes down. So we all have to step up.
So Nick, you came in learning college football and all of a sudden, go what?
Right.
Or is it just instinct?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, game's definitely a lot faster at the college level, but I feel like I've picked up pretty well. I've had great leaders to help me get through like the phase, and they've taught me well. And I think I mean, all credit to them. They've really brought me to where I am. So that's huge credit to them. Dustin for sure, DT's helped, and then Sumey for sure. Like all of them in practice and during games, always been there to either pick me up or help me out in situations. And all the DBs and Coach Mack for sure, they've helped me through this.
Were you surprised when they said we're not going to redshirt you and we're just going to
Yeah, I mean,
get you some reps and
a little bit. I mean, I guess every freshman kind of hopes to have that happen. So, I mean, that was good to have that, but at the same time, a little bit surprised. Yeah.
just play, right?
Right.
Coach, what did it mean to you guys? I mean, watching Adams State going on the road to West Texas A&M, who's a school program here in the last couple of years, and hanging right in that ball game. What did that tell you about their resiliency?
You know, Adams is a good football team, and I think that showed that they're capable of being very good against teams with great tradition. And you take a look at this year, you know, they have been very, very strong at home. And so, I mean, it's a standpoint. We know they're going to be a very good football team. You can look at even a couple of the other games where they went on the road and they played Pueblo down there. They moved the ball very well, and they had a couple turnovers down. You know, it basically gave up a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, gave up a block kick for a touchdown. And so if you take away a couple of big plays, they're right in every one of those ball games. So we know it's going to be a very good football team. And as we look at it, like I said, we've got to just take a look at it and say, hey, number one, for our defense, we know they're going to get the ball out. They throw the ball often enough. There's going to be completions. We got to be able to just tackle guys when they complete it and keep them from getting yards after catch. Offensively, we know we've got to move the football. We got to get first downs. First downs become touchdowns. And then again, the special teams, we've got to be very, very good in that area, and we have been. You know, one of the things, you know, both these two guys are also phenomenal special teams players, and that has been a huge part of what we've done this year. When we've been kicking off or we've been punting the ball, we have not been giving up very many return yards, and we're making teams have to go a long field, and that's a huge part of this game. And so if we can continue to do that, obviously I think that plays to our advantage, and that's one of the things we'll be looking at this week is making sure we can kind of win the field position battle and just play great defense. And like these guys are saying, I think they're ready to step up for that challenge.
Stephen, I know the linebackers last week were really excited because they faced like run first type, you know, and it's like almost be saying, we're not having to guess. We know they want to run the football. This week, it's kind of on the defensive back. You know, this is a pass first. Is that
Yeah.
helps the preparation a little bit?
We go in every week expecting them to pass, as DBs. Just this week, it's going to be definitely a great challenge for us as DBs. We haven't really. They're probably going to be the most high-powered passing offense we face besides mines, and we just expect to do what we do every week. Try to make some plays, and got to give credit to our D-line. Our D-line played exceptionally well last week against Dixie. So if they give pressure on the quarterback, makes our job easier.
Last year, the Iowa State game, I believe, was one where they threw like 7 touchdowns. You guys definitely put up points, but the Grizzlies also put up some last year. Have you thought about that, especially playing to Iowa State this year?
I give it thought about it. I didn't play last year, so I never get to play them. So this is gonna be the first time they've actually had the first time I'm playing since they've had a high-powered offense. And like I said, we said all week, even Dixie last week, they beat us up pretty bad last year, and we accepted the challenge last week. This week we're doing the same thing, trying to hold them to whatever we need to get the dub.
You were saying, when you've been hurt, you kind of watched. What all did you learn standing on the sideline? Because a lot of guys that you just see the game in a whole different aspect.
Yeah, you definitely see it from the totally different. Just especially in spring ball, just coaching the guys, coaching Nick in the fall. You're just, just when you're not out there, you just see what the linebackers are doing, what the D-line do. I've gone through corner when I was first here to safety, to outside linebacker, back to safety. So it's I kind of know, and coaches kind of realize that I can play it pretty much everywhere, and it just gives you the sense of where someone's going to be when when it's not your position. So it gives you definitely an advantage.
The punt last week, I mean, it hit somebody. Did somebody yell ball or?
Right.
Because everybody's back was turned, the ball just,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even know who it hit.
Right. I was just running down trying to block my guy, and then I hear the whole sideline yelling "ball, ball, ball." I kind of looked around, I saw it on the ground, and I really don't know how I grabbed it, but it worked out. So.
Well,
Yeah.